What does your heritage mean to you?
Wax on, hat, wax off.
The Karate Kid is one of the most iconic film trilogies of all time. It's a story about a new kid in town who quickly finds himself as the target of a group of bullies who study at the Cobra Kai dojo. The Cobra Kai is led by a psychopathic karate master, Sensei John Kreese, played by actor Martin Kove.
I can't hear you!
Strike first, strike hard, no mercy, sir!
The evil sensei teaches his students to act without mercy to opponents, and his dark character is echoed a number of times throughout the films.
Mercy is for the weak. An enemy deserves no mercy. What is the problem, Mr. Lawrence?
Sweep the leg. No mercy.
What many don't know is that Martin Kove grew up in a Jewish family in Brooklyn, and he speaks at schools around the country trying to counter bullying and spread positivity. At Taylor Talks, we caught up with Martin Kove and spoke to him about his anti-bullying campaign and then focused in on his Jewish connection. Let's see how that went.
I really appreciate you doing your part to counteract the real-life bullying. Let's just segue quickly to Jewish people, not exclusively, but have certainly been bullied throughout their history. You're a Jewish guy. Just want to tell us a little bit about what it was like growing up in Brooklyn, what your background is, Jewish-wise.
Well, my parents, my parents were Depression era folks and frightened. They were frightened and they led with food stamps and everything from, they lived through the Depression. So I was the only child, and they were conservative Jews, and we would go to temple on the holidays, and we had Shabbos at my grandmother's house. There was a greater family element going on there than now. Now, kids are very much pre-involved with, their computers and video games and soccer practice. So it was a little easier than growing up in the 60s and late 50s. And, I learned more about Judaism there and being with them. But it was traditional things. It was things that my grandparents, who came from Russia and Poland, that they learned. And they weren't able to communicate as well as my mother was, say, or the way I'm able to learn from people, from the rabbis and all today. I try to move my children as much as I can into being a practicing Jew. And I'm not the ideal, the ideal idol to follow. I don't, I carry Shabbos every once in a while. When this Passover, I remember Passover during Karate Kid, and I invited everybody. My agent, the director, John Avildsen, may his soul rest in peace, and he directed Rocky and all the Karate Kid movies. And I had a Seder in my house. And I got everybody, because I'm really into the West, and I got everybody in dusters, and I put 44 revolvers, old West guns, on the table, and I dressed everybody, and there were no Jews at the table; they were all Gentiles. And I just conducted the Seder the way I wanted to.
Cool.
Everybody reading in English, everybody reading a passage from the Haggadah, and I do that now, and I still try to get one Seder in my house.
Nice.
And it's tough. It's tough because my daughter, she's terrific, and my son is also terrific, but he's an actor, and she's a life coach, and she's giving birth shortly, and we'll have the bris and the whole deal.
Sure.
But my kids were b'nai mitzvah, and they were twins, and it was easier then. Now it's a little more difficult. I've got to show the example, and I've got to light candles, and I've got to make it a point to have a Shabbos dinner. If I don't do it, it's not going to get done. And they're not going to follow suit with their children. And so it gives me the incentive to just be a better Jew than I was growing up. I got bar mitzvah in Brooklyn Jewish Jewish Center on Empire Boulevard.
Oh, isn't it on Eastern Parkway?
On Eastern Parkway.
On Eastern Parkway,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right. So I would go there, and I graduated, and it was great. And I love, I try to do things on Purim. I was born on Purim. And I try to do things.
You're like a super Jew.
Yeah, I try to do things and make it fun. In Hanukkah, my friend and I do a wonderful video of us with a wonderful little Jewish musical. He's a statue, but he shakes and does Avenu Shalom Aleichem.
Okay, yeah.
Avenu Shalom Aleichem, the easiest song, and Avenu Shalom Aleichem over and over and over again. It's easy words to understand, and we actually posted that But I have Hanukkah parties at the house, and Seders, and, Purim is tricky. It comes and goes real quick. So I try to buy up a lot of, Hamantaschen, and
Right, nice.
I go down to Fairfax and I get it, 2 years ago we had a Seder, and I was in, where was I? I was in Costa Mesa, California, and not a lot of Jews in Costa Mesa. So I found the name of a restaurant, and the restaurant was closed. But I called, and I was there for my son's Jesse, and his girlfriend is Carrie Kasem,
Okay.
Casey Kasem from the radio.
Oh, okay.
And she was doing an event there she has her own foundation about abusing, elderly abuse. And the bottom line was, I was there to speak at that event, but it was Seder, and it was Passover time. Called this restaurant. I said, I'm here. My name is Martin Kove. He said, we know who you are, blah, blah, blah. And the bottom line was, I said, can I throw a Seder at your restaurant? I've got about 10 people. And he says, sure, but you have to bring the wine. I said, well, we don't drink, but we'll bring the grape juice. So I had 8 or 10 people at the restaurant. I brought 8 Haggadahs, and I passed them around, and the restaurant was closed except this other party over there. They were having another Seder, and they came over, and they wanted autographs and all that stuff. But the bottom line was, we conducted our own Seder with about 6 people who weren't Jewish, 4 that were in a town that was too far away for me to get home. And these people were fantastic. There was a Jewish deli, and we had our own Seder.
That's so cool.
We
We appreciate so much you taking a little bit of time, here in Fort Lauderdale this weekend to come out and chat with us, talk about your anti-bullying campaign, talk about your Jewish background, and help strengthen a lot of people, I'm sure. You're Cobra Kai. I consider myself Cobra Kai. We can train.
dojo.
Right, yeah, my dojo is my synagogue. Exactly. So, you train me a little bit, I'll train you a little bit, and we'll work together. No, thank you so much, Marty, for coming out. And
It's my pleasure, and it's wonderful to be Jewish, and the heritage is incredible, and I just think that somehow there's too many situations now where people are losing the heritage because of just the times are going so fast, and there's anti-Semitism in some strange places that you'd never think of to be existing. And I just feel that somehow we've got to overcome that. I haven't got the solution. I haven't got any solutions, but I'm working on it.
That was so cool. Martin Kove clearly said he wasn't a typical card-carrying Orthodox Jew, but Jewish heritage was something that was always important to him, and he always goes out of his way to make sure that he feels connected. Wherever we are on our spiritual journey, the most important part is which direction we're going, that we're slowly climbing the ladder step by step, always trying to do a little bit more as time goes by. By pushing yourself to the next level in spiritual growth, you'll be unstoppable. You'll see that you're the best around. Nothing's going to ever keep you down.
Warning for illegal contact with me. Finish him!
Chumash was my favorite subject.
If you like this video, please hit the subscribe button and that notification bell on the bottom right to keep up with videos as they come out. If you have friends or family that you think would benefit from watching this video, go ahead and share this video with them. If you have any questions for me about this topic or any questions in general, please feel free to leave a comment below and I'll make my best effort to respond to you directly. And finally, if you'd like to keep seeing more videos like this in the future, please consider donating to our Patreon page in the upper right. And have a great day.